Hello guys, in this lesson I'm going to explain to you how to develop workshop number 2 for English arts, and this is for 6th grade. Okay. The class objective is to be able to do exercises using present simple in affirmative, negative, and in questions. To learn about abilities using can, can't, and to recognize present simple sentences and pass them into present continuous sentences. Okay, here we have the theoretical reference for this exercise. Now let's go to the activities. In the activity number 1, you need to go to the link number 1 here in the resources and practice the exercises with present simple, affirmative, negative, and in questions. Then you need to write 2 sentences using the present simple in affirmative, 2 sentences in negative, and write 2 questions. Okay, so here there is an example in present simple affirmative. I work in London. Present simple negative. I don't live in London now. And the question in present simple, do you study in London? Okay, so now let's go and check some grammar about present simple so you can understand this information a little bit better. Okay, give me just a moment. Okay, so here we have the present simple. So the present simple tense is the base form of the verb. Okay. What is the base form? The base form is when the verb doesn't change. It's not in past or it's just in the infinitive form. Okay, I work in London. But with the third person singular, he, she, he, and it, we add an S to the verb. Okay, so here we have a she, and then since it is the third person, we add an S to the verb. She works in London. Okay. To write present simple questions, what I need to do is I need to use do as the auxiliary verb. Then I write the subject and then the verb in the base form or the infinitive form, and then the complement. Do you play the piano? When I'm using a WH question, I also use do when I'm using the subject, you in this case, okay? Where do you live? Okay, question mark. In the case of the third person, I don't use do, I use does. Does Jack play football? Why is the verb play without the S? Because here in my auxiliary verb, the S is added, so I don't need to use it in my verb. I just leave it in the base form. Does Jack play football? In a question with WH, I use where first, the WH question first, then my auxiliary verb, does, in this case, because I'm using a third person here, and the verb in the base form. Where does he come from? Okay. Okay, present simple, negative. Look at these sentences. I like tennis, but I don't like football. So don't is the contractions of do and plus not. Don't. And the verb here in present simple in the base form. Okay. I don't live in London now. I don't play the piano, but I play the guitar. They don't work at the weekend. John doesn't, here I'm using the auxiliary verb in negative, does, because the subject is a third person, he. So since John is a he, I need to use does in the negative, doesn't. And my verb in the base form, in the infinitive form, without any s. John doesn't live in Manchester. Doesn't equals to does not. Angela doesn't drive to work. She goes by bus. Here, because I'm correcting this information, I'm saying that she doesn't drive to work. And then I say she goes by bus. Then in this case, because it's the affirmative form, I'm not using the auxiliary verb. I use the verb in the third form with an S. In this case, it's go, goes, and the third person. Okay, now let me go back to the, oh, well, before that, what you need to do is practice these exercises. So here you have affirmative, negative, and questions. So what you need to do is you need to pick the correct one. Here, you use do because you, we, I, you, we, and they, we use do, the auxiliary verb do, to make a question. Do you have a cold? Here is he, I have two options. He switches on the lights or he switch on the lights. I use switches because he is the third person. So I need to add S in this case because it is CH at the end. I need to add an E and then an S. Okay. Right, so let me go back to the workshop now. All right, down in the activity number 2, you need to go to the link and practice the exercises with can, can't, and then write 3 sentences of your own. 3 sentences using can and 3 sentences using can't. So I'm gonna share with you the information that you need to complete those exercises. Okay, so here the grammar rule for can. Can is an ability. It's something that you can do, that you're able to do. So when I use can, it's because I'm able to do that. It's my ability. I can swim. They can speak English. They have the ability to speak English. She can ride a bike. She has the ability to ride a bike. She can do it, okay? Now, with can, the verb doesn't change. That means that you do not add an S. It needs to be in the base form. Okay, after can, always the verb in the base form. I can swim. They can speak English. She can ride a bike. So here, because it's a third person, I would think that I would need to add the S, But since I'm using can't, then I don't have to write an S. This is a rule. After can, the verb goes in the infinitive form. Okay. Okay, so this is what I was explaining. You need to add the infinitive after can. I can swim. You can run fast. She can ride a bike. We can speak English. They can play the guitar. Or negative, you can add the contraction and or not. I can't drive a car, or I can say I cannot drive a car. Is the same. Can you speak French? No, they can't. Can they speak French? No, they cannot. Is the same. Okay. So to make a question, you need to put can first, then the subject, and then the verb in the infinitive or base form, and then the complement. When you're asking a question with can, you need to put it first. Okay, so don't forget that. You don't say, you can swim? Yes, I swim. That's the way we say it in Spanish, but in English, you need to switch it. You need to use can and then the subject and then the verb. And don't forget the question mark. Okay, so here, yeah, you will find some exercises. So when you see the check mark, that means that she can do that. So I can dance. Here, for example, it says he played the guitar. So since I see a crossword, like an X, then means that he cannot do that. So he can't play the guitar. And then you need to practice on the rest of the exercises. You can check if it is correct or not and do more exercises if you wish. Okay. And then you go to the link number 3, watch the video about present continuous, and then pass the following sentences to present continuous tense. So for example, all these sentences are in present, and you need to pass them, you need to convert them or write them again into present continuous. So for example, here, Jane rides a bike all the weekends. In present continuous is Jane is riding a bike all the weekends. So remember that in the present continuous, I need to add ing to the verb. Is riding, is making, is doing, depending on the sentence. Okay, so let me share with you some of this information about present continuous. Okay, so I play tennis every Sunday. This is like a routine. And in the present continuous, I said, I am playing hockey now. She eats fruit every day. She is eating an apple now. Okay, so this is a routine. I use the present simple for a routine and the present continuous to speak about an action that is happening at the very moment. Okay. All right, and then finally you need to go to the Richmond platform and complete the assigned activities about grammar and vocabulary about the same topic. Okay, so that is it. Thank you guys for listening.